Go live, waiting to go live. All right, I'm live. Hello, everybody. We're going to try this again because the first video was a little bit of a hot disaster. So, hello again. I am HP Hollow and I write books. Specifically, this, my first new book in 5 years. So, I am here tonight to talk about Monster Punk Horizon and why you should buy it. So, first off, what is it about? Well, Monster Punk Horizon is a GameLit fantasy adventure comedy that basically comes down to cute girls hunting monsters. But here, for your enjoyment, I will read the back for you. Pix and Jaz are two girls who just want to hunt monsters, craft armor, and pay off their college loans. But when a colossal new monster falls through the portals in the Dazzling Skies, it'll take all their skills to survive it. Their skill levels slightly above noob. Fortunately, they have their oversized swords, a lot of sass, and one giant monster friend who might help them out for a price. So, those of you who have been reading me a while are wondering, where exactly did this come from? Because weren't you working on the sequel to The Wizard's Way? And yes, I still am working on the sequel to The Wizard's Way. But while I was working on that sequel, I made the interesting choice to go back and read some of my old work. I just got bored and was like, hey, there's that notebook. Let's check it out. And this was some of my, not my earliest writing, but kind of up there. And this was junior high era. A lot of the stuff I was writing was very inspired by whatever I was watching at the time, which was Pokemon, Digimon, Monster Rancher, basically every massive monster franchise that was coming out at that point. And so that was when I first discovered anime as well. So all of my writing at that time was just this crazy combination of collectible monsters and space opera and all the madness in between. And the writing was terrible. Like, it was kind of traumatic to go back and read that. But there was this bonkers sense of fun in it that just, it knew it was weird and did not care at all. And that in itself made it just really, really enjoyable to read, even though it was kind of terrible at the same time. And so I put it away and then kept working on The Wizard Circus, the title of the sequel, and forgot about it for a little bit until a few years later. Jacob got me into Monster Hunter World. And so there was a period where we were just playing Monster Hunter World every night. And it occurred to me that even though I hadn't engaged with Pokemon and Digimon and the other monster franchises, it's except to like watch a few movies every now and then since childhood, enjoyed those kinds of stories and those kinds of franchises, like all about the monsters. And so pieces began to come together in my head. One of my favorite reactions to The Wizard's Way that people have gotten it or given me is that they call it a love letter to steampunk. And I got the idea, well, why not write a book that basically is a love letter to all of those monster franchises that drove my early writing and to a certain extent, like, fuel my entertainment life today. And so I started piecing together ideas and developing a world that paid loving homage to all of these franchises. And the first arc of the series is very heavily Monster Hunter inspired. If you are familiar with the Monster Hunter series at all, Capcom Monster Hunter, then you'll notice, ridiculous swords, crazy looking monster based armor, etc. And so there's very much a Monster Hunter theme to the first arc, but there are elements of the world that pay a heavy homage to Pokemon and to a later extent Digimon. Should the series actually make it that far, the first 3 books in the series are set to come out within quick sequence of each other. Book 1 is actually already out in paperback. It's set to release in ebook form on Thursday, so you can go pre-order it now. There's a link somewhere relative to wherever you're watching this. And then the audiobook is still in progress. I actually listened to the semi-final version last week. There were a few little edits to make, which the reader is going to get to me this week. So it won't release simultaneously, but it's coming close. Book 2, titled Isekai Skies, will be out on, hold on, I got to check my notes. I forgot to memorize it because there's just so much in my brain. Right. Where are my notes? Okay, book 2 comes out on November 18th, And it also will have an audio version that hopefully releases close by. And then finally, book 3 is set to release on December 23rd. And book 3 is somewhat unique in the series. Book 3 is titled Excess, and it was actually co-written with Jacob, because while I was working on book 1 and telling him about the world, he was so intrigued by what I was putting together that he was like, you know what, I'm between books right now. Let's can I write a book in your series? And so he actually wrote book 3 before I was even done with book 1. So that was an adventure getting that edited. But anyway, early reviews of Monster Punk Horizon 1 have been excellent. I think my favorite review described it as a Monster Hunter Sugar Rush, and I think one specific line in the review described it as like reading a cupcake if the entire cupcake was made out of chocolate chips, which is just, great praise. But anyway, like I said, it's available now in paperback, coming out this week in ebook and in audio soon. So I'm really, really excited to finally share it with you guys. I think you're going to love it. And that's it. So, oh, by the way, one more thing I forgot. I'm going to be doing videos to support the release of this book for the next 2 weeks. And so if there's an element of the world that you're curious about, I will probably have a video about it. You can go on the blog on my website at hollowriting.com and see the full schedule. Tomorrow, I will be reading an excerpt from the book. I'll be reading chapter 1. And a few other excerpts next week. And then, most importantly, on Thursday, I am going to be holding a virtual launch party where I chatter with readers about the book, read a few excerpts that I won't read anywhere else, and also give away a few signed copies for those of you who are awesome enough to visit and comment. So you should totally come hang out on Thursday. And that is it for this video. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later.